Hello, dear children. How are you all? I'm Satyapriya and I welcome you all to English Paradise channel. Dear children, if the plan doesn't work, change the plan and not the goal. You all know very well that sticking to the goal is very important for your success. Today we are going to look into the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris was born on 21 May 1921, is considered to be one of the most important Welsh writers of the post-war period. He worked as a lecturer, teacher and headmaster, and he adopted full-time writing with residencies at academic institutions in Britain and United States. His collection of poems include Tongue of Beauty, Finding Gold, Sea in the Desert, etc. His collection of stories and poems have won many prizes, and among them are the David Higham Memorial Prize, the Catherine Mansfield Award, the AML Award, etc. And today we are going to look into the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. In this poem, the poet tries to depict the mental condition of a caged tiger. He compares the life of a tiger in the zoo with that of the tiger which lives in a natural habitat. The poet conveys an important message that the wild animal should be left in the natural habitat. In this poem, he heightens the contrast between freedom and captivity. He very impressively shows us how love for freedom is the natural instinct of every living being. The poet shows his readers that a tiger is best suited to live in the wild rather than living in a zoo. In the wild, it can roam freely and hunt as and when it requires food. It can approach human habitation and intimidate its inhabitants, but will not harm them unless it is provoked. On the other hand, in the zoo, its radius of movement is very small. It feels like a prisoner in a jail cell. It is fed by the zoo authorities, and so it unlearns how to live by itself and becomes lazy. It does not even appreciate humans who is coming to look at it. So, let us see in this poem what is the feeling of a tiger which is put in a cage. Moving on to the first stanza, he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on paths of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. The poet sees a tiger locked in a concrete cell in a zoo. It is a very small cage and he looks majestic as he slowly moves up and down in his cage. The sharp and clear stripes on his body are of strong bright color. Stalks means follows and vivid is intensely deep or bright. The sharp and clear stripes on his body are of strong bright color. And the few steps of his cage on paths of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. The poet says that the tiger walks quietly without making a sound because of his smooth velvet pad. The tiger is able to walk only few steps because of the length of its cage. It covers a distance in a few mere steps only. The tiger is full of anger, but it is suppressed because he is helpless there. Moving on to the second stanza, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be lurking in shadow. Lurking meaning lie hidden and wait. So this poet is saying that looking at the imprisoned tiger, the poet is filled with pity. He says that the tiger should have been in the natural habitat, that is in the jungle, hunting and resting. Then, at his hour of night, he would have been lying in the shadows of trees and sliding quietly through the long grass. That is what? He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass. Where he would be lying near the water hole where plump deer pass. The poet is saying that he would then, near the water hole, wait for some fat and fleshy deer to pass that way. Thus, he would be lying there in expectation of a heavy feast. So, could you all understand the second stanza? Moving on to the third stanza, he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. He should be snarling around houses. What does it mean snarling? To growl with bad teeth at the jungle's edge. So, what is a tiger doing? The tiger is growling with his bad teeth. Why it is doing so? The poet imagines what the tiger would be doing in case he failed to find any prey in the natural habitat. He says that the tiger would be angrily moving around houses in a nearby village. He would be growling at the edge of the jungle near some village. He would be showing his white fangs and terrible claws while moving here and there. So baring his white fangs, his claws. What is meant by baring? Baring means it is showing. Okay. Fangs. What is meant by fangs? It is the canine teeth of the tiger. What is meant by claws? It is pointed horny nails on any animal's foot. So he will be showing his white fangs and his claws. Why he is showing all these things? To terrorize the village people. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He is locked in a concrete cell. What is meant by locked? He is caught or kept in a cage. In a concrete cell. What is concrete? A building material made from a mixture of broken stone or gravel or sand or cement. Okay. So what is cell? It is a very small room. So he is locked in a concrete cell. He is locked in a concrete cell. The poet sees the tiger is locked in a concrete cell in the zoo. In spite of all his strength, he now lies imprisoned behind the bars. What is meant by bars? It is the cell is made of bars, right? Stalking the length of his cage, ignoring the visitors. He takes no note of the visitors who had come to look at him. So he completely ignores them as none of them thinks of releasing him from his prison. Moreover, due to their presence, he hardly gets any rest during the day. So that makes him very, very stressed. So he is locked in a concrete cell and all his strength is behind the bars of the cage. Stalking the length of his cage. That means he is moving here and there in the cage and he did not take any notice of the visitors who has come to see him. And moving on to the last stanza. He hears the last voice at night in the patrolling cars and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. What is it by patrolling? To go around an area at regular times to make sure that everything is safe. What were the zoo people doing? They went in the patrolling cars to go around the zoo to check whether everything is safe or not. And the tiger hears to the last voice at night of the patrolling cars. So at that time what he is doing? He stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. He is looking at the stars with his brilliant eyes. What is meant by brilliant here? Beautifully shining. So due to the visitors, the tiger gets no rest during the day. Even at night, he remains disturbed due to the noise that comes from the patrolling cars. The tiger has thus lost all hope and feels very helpless. He thus stares at the brilliant stars shining bright in the sky. It seems that he is looking for some sort of comfort and hope in these stars. His brilliant eyes show that he still hopes for the day when he would be able to run free in the forest and live in natural surroundings. So, what is the condition of the tiger here? It is very pathetic living in a cage, right? It should have been living in a natural habitat, but it is not allowed so. So, this is what the poet is trying to say in this poem. So, I hope that you all have understood about this poem. Okay, dear children, see you in my next video. Bye-bye.